Every morning, like clockwork, at exactly 8:17 a.m., Marcus would step into the office elevator, already talking. Morning, everyone. Can you believe the traffic today? Feels like it's going to rain. His voice would fill that small metal box before the doors even had a chance to close. For Marcus, silence felt awkward, almost like a problem that needed to be fixed immediately, like a strange, uncomfortable pause in a conversation that just had to be filled. That Tuesday was no different. He walked into the elevator with his usual high energy, a warm coffee in one hand, his tie just a little bit crooked. Inside, 3 of his co-workers were already there, a woman busy scrolling on her phone, a man staring intently at the floor numbers as they lit up, and an older security guard leaning calmly against the back wall. Looks like we're all early today, Marcus said with his trademark cheerfulness. But no one replied. He wasn't one to be deterred. Marcus continued, "You'd think with all this technology we have, mornings would be so much easier, right? Still, nothing." The doors slid shut with a soft whoosh, and the elevator began its slow, steady climb. But then, somewhere between the 5th and 6th floors, it just stopped. The lights stayed on, thankfully. There was no sudden jolt, no screeching alarm, just a complete and sudden stillness. Marcus let out a nervous laugh. Well, this is new. He reached out and pressed the button for his floor. Nothing happened. He pressed it again, a little harder this time, as if that would make a difference. Still nothing. The silence returned, but this time it felt heavier, more present. Minutes started to tick by, each one feeling longer than the last. An overwhelming urge began to rise inside Marcus, the deep-seated need to fill the quiet, to explain the situation, to complain about it, to ask questions that he knew no one could possibly answer. His thoughts started racing, moving faster than the elevator ever had. What if we're really stuck? What if I'm late for my meeting? What if something is seriously wrong with this thing? But then, something completely unexpected happened. In the midst of his spiraling thoughts, he became aware of his own breathing. It was shallow and rapid, a physical sign of his inner panic. Without even really thinking about it, he took a slow, deep breath in. And then let it all out. He did it again. The tightness that had been squeezing his chest began to soften. He started to notice the low, constant hum of the elevator's machinery. He heard the gentle, rhythmic rise and fall of the security guard's breathing. He saw the faint reflection of his own face in the mirrored wall, and he looked calmer than he expected. No one spoke a word, and for the very first time in what felt like forever, Marcus didn't feel the need to. In that profound quiet, his racing thoughts began to settle down. It was a revelation. He realized how much of his life was spent talking, explaining, proving himself, and how little of it was spent just listening, just being present in the moment. Silence, he was discovering, wasn't empty at all. It was actually full of things he had never made the time to hear. After what felt like an eternity, but was probably only a few minutes, the elevator gave a light jolt and resumed its ascent. The doors slid open on the 10th floor. Everyone stepped out quietly, almost reverently. As Marcus walked toward his desk, he knew something inside him had shifted. Later that day, when a coworker stopped by his desk to vent about a frustrating problem, Marcus just listened. He truly listened without interrupting, without jumping in to offer quick solutions. That evening, as he rode the elevator down, he was all alone. He stood in the middle of the small space, surrounded by silence. And for the first time, it didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable. It felt like home. This story of Marcus is a powerful reminder for all of us. How often do we rush to fill the quiet spaces in our lives with noise, with chatter, with distractions? We live in a world that bombards us with sound, with notifications, with endless content vying for our attention. It's easy to forget the value of silence. We might see it as empty space, a void to be filled, but what if silence isn't a void? What if it's a space for reflection, for clarity, for connection with ourselves? Think about it. When was the last time you sat in complete silence, without your phone, without the TV on, without a podcast playing in your ears? It can feel a little strange at first, even uncomfortable, just like it did for Marcus. Our minds are so used to constant stimulation that when it's gone, they can go into overdrive. We might feel restless, anxious, or bored. But if you can push through that initial discomfort, you'll find something incredible on the other side. In silence, you can finally hear your own thoughts without the clutter of the outside world. You can process your emotions. You can find creative solutions to problems that have been nagging you. It's like giving your brain a chance to breathe, to reset. The quiet allows us to notice the little things we usually miss: the sound of the wind, the feeling of our own breath, the subtle details of the world around us. It connects us to the present moment in a way that nothing else can. Marcus's experience in the elevator wasn't just about being stuck, it was about being present. He stopped trying to control the situation with words and simply allowed himself to be in it. And in doing so, he learned to listen not just to others, but to himself. This newfound skill transformed his interactions. When he truly listened to his coworker, he wasn't just waiting for his turn to speak. He was offering his full, undivided attention. That's a rare and powerful gift. So, I want to challenge you. Find a few minutes of silence in your day. Maybe it's during your morning coffee, on your commute, or just before you go to sleep. Turn off the noise, put away the distractions. Just be. Notice your breath. Notice the quiet. See what comes up. You might be surprised by what you discover in that space you thought was empty. Silence isn't the absence of something, it's the presence of everything. Thank you so much for watching and for sharing this quiet moment with me. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content that explores the deeper side of our daily lives. I'd love to hear about your own experiences with silence in the comments below. Until next time, take care.